I want you to confirm to this court that for somebody to be a senior assessor, they must be highly specialized.
In that particular area that they're an assessor, yes. So it depends which area he is an assessor.
Going by the date of your report,
Yes,
being 17th of March,
yes.
2026, by the time you come up with your report, you are privy to all the evidence that had been provided to this court,
Yes,
isn't it?
yes.
Other than the bachelor's degree you hold, do you hold any other advanced academic degree in forensics?
No.
We have already established that your lab is not ISO 17025 accredited. And
I have no laboratories, so there is no accreditation.
okay, your firm or facility.
Yes, so we do paper reviews only. We
That's
do not
okay.
process anything.
Do you, as an individual, hold any ISO 1702 certification?
As an individual, you can't hold that. And
Do
again,
you hold any?
there is no accreditation
Just
that I
answer
can.
me, yes
There
or
i-
no.
There is no accreditation I can hold.
Accreditation she can hold. The reason why you cannot hold any accreditation is because you're not an analyst, right?
An analyst in that
Yes or no?
physically processing DNA samples,
You are
correct. Correct. But no individual in that laboratory holds ISO accreditation.
No, you have already answered me. You're not an analyst.
I don't physically do it, but I have the ability to review and interpret DNA
In
profiles.
Please repeat your answer.
So whilst I do not carry out the technical process, I'm able to interpret and review DNA profiling results.
So meaning that you have never done actual bench work of analysis.
Oh, I have, yes. When I very first started at the Forensic Science Service in 1997, I was analysing and actually doing the technical work, for which I did for 6 years.
This was for how long?
6 years.
Only.
That was from 1997.
1997 to 2003, I was doing the technical work within the laboratory.
So that puts you at 6 years only of analysis in terms of experience, right?
Yes, that would be deemed an experienced analyst.
1997?
So 97 to 2003, I was processing samples at the Forensic Science Service.
She has experience of 6 years. To confirm that the last time you therefore did any technical analysis was in 2002?
2003 was the last time.
2003 was the last
Yes,
time.
yeah,
Okay.
actual physical hands-on laboratory work, but since that time I've interpreted all DNA profiling results.
Okay.
sorry, I'm a little bit lost. She's saying, I'm not answering the question. Is it doing the technical lab work?
From 97 to 2003.
My understanding of technical lab work is this like being a technician?
My Lord, the witness has understood the question and has provided the answer.
The real analysis is from 1997 to 2003, but from 2000 to 2003, she was taking cases to court as one of the analysts at the forensic sciences.
And the last time she ever did any analysis, a technical analysis, was in 2003.
And
Yes.
from 2003, I have not done
Any
technical
technical-
analysis, but I have interpreted DNA results.
Yes.
That's what I don't understand. My difficulty is, like I said, they got a witness who told us that in the lab, you have a technician, you have an analyst, you have a reviewer, and you have a supervisor. So I don't know if we are dealing with that.
Let the witness explain.
But my lord,
just
what
in
is
a sentence or two, what technical, what she meant by she has not done technical analysis since then.
So, as you've just heard, within the laboratory, you have an analytical team who actually do the hands-on analysis of the work. And then we have the reporting, the court-going scientists. And it is standard practice that the court-going scientists do not do the technical work. We know the process inside out and can explain it, but we don't do the hands-on work. But we are the people who evaluate the final results in the context of the case and take that forward. So I have worked with DNA profiling results since 1997.
And my question to you was, the last time you ever engaged in technical analysis was in 2003, right?
Yes, which would be the standard for any reporting scientist.
'36.
Yes.
Going through to page 37.
Yes.
Because your firm is lacking on accreditation status,
Yes, we can't gain any. Yes.
your work was supposed to be peer reviewed by an independent peer reviewer.
Yes, that's correct, and it was.
Okay. My Lord, I'm requesting for Defense Exhibit 29. Peer review. The reason for the peer review process is to authenticate or verify your findings or your opinions. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes, as in all scientific disciplines, a second scientist
Yes,
confirms
it's
the
sufficient
finding.
for me, ma'am.
So yes, that it's to independently review what I have, in my opinion, reported.
This is a report you provide
Yes.
to authenticate her findings and opinions. That is a report that you provided to this
Correct.
court.
Yes.
Please confirm that your report is not signed by your peer reviewer.
This is standard practice in England and Wales.
Please just
The
confirm,
peer
is it signed
reviewer-
or it's not?
The peer reviewer does not need to sign. There isn't a requirement for the peer reviewer to sign the statement. In England and Wales, yet Scotland, there is. So it's an internal peer review, as with all cases running through whether prosecution or defence.
So the question to you is very simple. That your peer reviewer did not sign that report. Is that correct?
Correct, as standard
Just
practice.
that's enough.
We do not sign, a peer reviewer does
I have
not
said
sign.
that's enough.
Sincerely, don't worry, any gaps will be cleared by
And-
Defense in re-examination.
And I assured you, to give me short answers, we move. You give me long answers, we rotate. Hmm?
But in England and Wales, there's no requirement for
That's
the viewer to sign as opposed to Scotland.
Please confirm to this court also that your report does not mention anywhere that it was ever peer reviewed.
As with standard, no, we don't mention it.
You didn't mention it.
No, because it's
You
accepted.
did not mention it.
No, we don't.
Okay.
It's a standard practice.
However, you made that report knowing that it's going to operate in the Ugandan jurisdiction and not in the UK jurisdiction.
Yes, but I don't
Okay.
know your law, so I followed the English law. But if required, I can get a statement from my peer reviewer
Okay.
to say she reviewed it.
Just slow. Where in the code is it indicated that your reviewer should not sign on your report?
It's just standard practice. No, we don't disclose every single critical check that has happened through the process. It's accepted that the peer
So
reviewer
you agree
doesn't
with me
appear.
that your report has some gaps,
Not,
right?
No. We don't disclose absolutely everything in our reports,
Okay.
much like the DNA laboratory don't disclose all the batches that were processed and each individual step. We keep our reports
So
fit for
there is
purpose.
certain information that is left behind, right?
We don't disclose every single check that has happened through the process, no.
All right. Without the signature of the peer reviewer, without you indicating on your report that was actually ever peer reviewed, I have no evidence to confirm that actually that report was ever peer reviewed, correct?
Correct, however,
All right.
I can provide a
I
statement
just-
if required. This is our
It was
standard.
never provided, so we'll go by what you have.
Yeah, if required, I can, but this is standard practice, standard statement
Ms.
format.
Singley, you never provided, so let's stop it at that. As at now, we have established that one, your firm is not ISO accredited. Your work was supposed to be peer reviewed. We have no evidence of review. Do you believe in the authenticity of your work?
Yes, because we cannot gain ISO 17025, and I have full documentation electronically that it has been peer reviewed.
All right. I also believe that you believe in your report because you also believe in your personal competencies. as
Yeah.
a forensic practitioner?
Yes, I have 30 years experience in the field, so yes, I am an expert in the field.
Okay. So you believe in the authenticity of your report and your findings and your opinions, even when your firm is not ISO 17025 certified.
As I've said, there is no certification for case
Do
review.
you believe in them or not? It's just a simple
It's not
question.
possible to gain ISO 17025, so the relevance of us having it or not, it doesn't affect the work I do. Case review
Okay.
is exempt from any
We
accreditation
will
service.
come to that, Ms. Hingley.
So yes, the processes I've followed are fine.
As long as the processes were followed, right?
Yes, which they were.
Let's take the interpretation. Ms. Hingley, I am aware that case review is one of the activities that is not provided for under the regulator code,
Correct.
the one we're talking about.
Yes.
However, I would like to draw your attention to section of that regulation, 8.8. 8.8.4.1.
Yes. Page 220. 220.
221, my lord. Where a forensic activity is undertaken as part of case review, you are supposed to be governed by the code. Is that correct?
That's correct, which is why we don't do
Okay.
any primary
That's
examinations
correct.
at all.
That's all we should stop at, Ms. Ingrid. It's a point of confirmation. So where a forensic activity is performed as part of the case review process, such an activity, such work should be governed by the code.
Correct, yes.
By that, it means that case review may not necessarily be held in in isolation of any other things.
That's correct.
I will also take you to Part C of that code. specifically looking at section 34.1.2. 34.
Page number?
I don't we want to object. Relevance. The witness has
Mr.
said
Thomas.
the work that is before this court is not covered by that. Now, for us to traverse it for academic purposes will not help.
What about 88.4.1?
Even that, my lord.
My lord, we shall.
Let me.
He will know the relevance later. I think he's running ahead of us.
Even that 88 says if you conduct case review together with another process, in this case review was done alone with no other process.
He cannot testify, my lord.
That's what the witness said.
No, the witness has no.
Let me finish. Let me. My lord, we cannot simply go on an academic journey to discover everything for us. The witness was very categorical, and the rule in the code at page 218 is clear. So that code does not apply to the case review that she has also said the work I did, which she's here to testify. This witness is not here to lecture. Yes, she has that yes, but she's not here to lecture us about everything in the world. She's only here to talk about what she did. For us, therefore, to spend time here reading the code that is not relevant to the work before court. What is the relevance? So let's go to the relevance. Let them critique the work she did. Her report is clear, let's traverse it. Her experience, we cannot go into the code. Questions in cross must only be limited to what is relevant to matters before court. Not anything that is outside.
Does he want, my lord, does he want to guide court on the law, specifically on what he is putting as a
What
point
questions
of
are
fact?
relevant in cross examination?
My lord, we will traverse the relevance and all of those details at an appropriate time. For now, surely, prosecution is doing its part. We are laying a background for many other things. And if Mr. Tumwebaze can only be patient, at the close of this cross-examination, I am very sure he will see that what he thinks is not relevant is most relevant. Unfortunately, he has to give us time to do our part. He does not expect us to explain. We are doing this because of that. That won't be cross-examination at all. May he, my lord, be patient with us, with due respect.
Mr. Morgan, and Mr. Tumwebaze. The point here is to ensure that we get to our point as fast as possible while being in mind to follow with time.
My lord, that is exactly what we are doing. And if I had not been disrupted, by now I would be very far. So, please go to 34.1.2.
Yes.
Are we at 34?
Yes, page 114.
Part C,
34.1.2, page 114.
requires, and if I'm to be specific, 34.1.2, a practitioner who is undertaking any forensic activity under E is required to provide opinions within the limits of your professional competence. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Under 34.1.2J, in conducting your work, you're supposed to conduct casework using demonstrably valid methods. Is that correct?
That's correct, but that refers to the analytical side of casework, which I haven't done.
That's okay. While conducting a case review, you ought to have a methodology, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Look at that exhibit.
Yes,
You did not indicate on it the methodology that you used.
There
Is
is-
that correct?
there is no specific methodology for case
Okay.
review. It's a personal expert way of creating it. There is no set methodology.
Doesn't matter. You did not indicate it.
That's because there isn't one.
Whether specific or not specific, you did not indicate anything to do with your methodology.
There
is
is-
that correct?
There is no specific methodology into case review. It's a scientific's own expertise. It's not a method, for example, doing one of the analytical stages. It's nothing like that at all. It doesn't have to follow a certain order.
I would therefore be correct to say that you did not have a methodology while you undertook your work.
Because
Correct.
there isn't one.
Just answer me, yes or no?
Yes, there isn't one.
Did you have one or you did not?
There is no methodology.
You did not have any.
There isn't one.
I'll take you to page 3 of your report.
Yes.
Please read it.
From information received?
Purpose of examination.
Oh, purpose. The purpose of my examination was to review the scientific findings reported by Ugandan forensic scientists, specifically in relation to the pistol, item 4, and various ammunition recovered from the home address of Henry Katanga and Molly Katanga, with a review to evaluating the results in the context of the case circumstances.
One of the things you undertook is an evaluation
Correct.
of the results.
Yes.
The evaluation of the results was in the context of this particular case, right?
The first evaluation doesn't bring in any
Is it or is it not?
There is no yes or no to that one, I'm afraid.
But this is what you indicate in your report.
The actual process is that I independently review the DNA profiling results first,
Miss-
and then the evaluation in the context of the case comes in. So it's a two-staged process.
So, Ms. Hingley, should we take it that what you recorded in this your report is not true or it's not correct relating to what you did?
No, it's a true representation of my opinion of the
Okay.
findings.
So, I'll take you to my first earlier question and kindly listen to me carefully. That you provided an evaluation opinion in the context of this case, as you indicate here.
Yes, the final opinion.
That's enough.
Yes.
the context of the case circumstances.
What was the
My final opinion is in the context of the case.
Context. And to give this evaluation that gave rise to your report, you did interpretations
Yes, I
of the
did.
data.
Yes, of all the DNA profiles.
She did the interpretation of the results. Please repeat. What
Yes, so
you
I
pro-
did interpretation of all the DNA profiling results.
Okay. So in addition to doing the evaluation, you also provided opinions, right?
Yes, as would be standard.
Okay. Please confirm to this court that the evaluation opinions you provide are contained on page 26 of your report.
Yes, they're the final evaluations.
When you go to your code, 331.4.1 that we looked at, section 31.4.1,
Yes.
interpretations and opinions are supposed to be provided by facilities that have ISO 17025 certification. Is that correct?
That only applies
Is
to
that
only
correct?
applies to the primary examinations, not the defence reviews.
Only applies to primary
The
And
the
not
primary
defence.
work carried out
and not defense reviews.
and not defence reviews. We are in effect just a paper review, a third check. In order to comply with ISO 17025,
That's
all
okay.
laboratories must have that in the first instance.
That's okay, Ms. Hingley. Please confirm to this court that actually what you did was a defense review and not a case review that you have been talking about.
They're interchangeable, they're the same. So I was instructed by the defence, and so we refer to it as a defence review, but in
Okay.
effect it's a case review. It's a third review of the scientific findings.
Defense reviews are covered by the court, correct?
No. The only mention of defence reviews is the ability for us to gain the paperwork from the prosecution. The actual physical review is exempt from the codes.
That's fine. But you would like to confirm that indeed your work was to do a defense review.
Yes, or case review.
That's
It's
okay.
interchangeable.
Let's take the interpretation. Back to the code. When you look at the section 31.4
Yes.
on opinions and interpretations,
Yes.
you will also confirm to 31. I said 31.4. It gives general provisions relating to opinions and interpretations. Is that correct?
That's correct.
In that your report, you gave interpretations. Is that correct?
I do, yes.
Also, in that your report, you provided opinions, not so?
Yes.
Okay. Under 31,
Council allow us to record what was said.
under 31.4,
Yes.
point 2,
Yes.
the expert shall provide clarity.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
If you look at 31.4.2, I am reading now B.
B, thank you.
It requires that there should be clarity in any report as to the source or sources of data forming the evaluative opinion. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Also, experts providing opinion in C. Shall be demonstrably competent to do so.
Yes.
Under D, it calls for the use of statistical models and any assumptions involved in the interpretation and opinion to be set out in the report.
Correct.
And 31.4.6
Yes.
provides for evaluative opinions.
Yes.
31.4.6.
Yes.
By the reading of this, it covers all opinions and interpretations, right?
For the first review, yes.
Where is it indicated that is only for the first review? Look at the section and show me that
All-
it refers to the first review.
All of these refer to a laboratory that initially requires the accreditation. The case review is not part of this. This is purely for the initiating the Crown laboratory, not for the...
And I put it to you that part of the work you did brings you squarely in the management of this code to which you were not actually competent to undertake, Ms. Hingley.
That's not correct at all. Despite us not having to adhere to this, all my reasoning, all my evaluations are
I'll
throughout my
demonstrate to you
report and clearly demonstrated as to how I reached my opinion.
You said that despite having not been obliged to adhere to this,
Yes, my interpretations and evaluations presented in my report are fully transparent and at every stage in my report explained the information I have used. I haven't used any statistical evaluations and I have not offered an evaluative opinion.
At page 26,
Yes,
you provide opinions from your evaluations.
yes, that's correct.
Do you agree with me that in a case review, you are restricted to offering opinions within the confines of the report under review?
I have no restrictions other than my expertise in the particular area.
So you should be restricted to the report under review, correct?
I'm restricted to what was provided to me, yes.
I am referring to the report under review.
So the report, the raw data, etc., yes.
she's confined to
The report under review and the information provided to her. Is that what correct?
Yes, but it doesn't prevent me giving my opinion.
No. Your opinion should be based on that.
It is, yes, it is.
I wrote this is what we recorded. I have no restrictions except my expertise. And then I have said, so I have no restrictions except my expertise. That was the answer which I recorded to the first question. The follow-up question then, my lord, that will be repeated.
let us
My lord,
be
if-
led by
yes, my
what
lord.
did you ask about what happens in case review?
I,
She said I am confined
yes.
to the report under review
And the information
and the information
provided.
Isn't that what
Yeah, as long as it's in my
Yes.
realm of
Yes.
expertise.
provide report under review and the information
Provided.
as long as it is in the hands.
In your years of experience, you should be and must know about the hierarchy of propositions within the DNA framework.
Yes, I do.
And these are source level proposition which considers the question, whose DNA is this? Is that correct?
Source level includes body fluid, so who the blood,
Yeah,
etc. There is a
It
sub-level.
doesn't matter whether it's coming from, but
There is
source,
a sub-
it means whose DNA it is.
There's
Is that
actually
correct?
a level before that, and that is purely for cellular DNA. So the first level is where a body fluid's involved, and actually there's a sub-level 1, which
So
is
we
where
have-
it's cellular only.
Okay.
So what is source level proposition?
So the first proposition is determining who the DNA originated from.
And that is
source
what
level?
is that?
So that is source level 1, but
Yes.
that refers to when a body fluid is present. So, for example, the blood originated from so and so, the semen originated from so and so. We now
So-
have a sub-level 1, which is purely for cellular DNA, when we can't determine the biological nature of DNA, but we are interested in who that DNA might have originated
Miss
from.
Hinglin. You don't have to talk too much, just state. Source level is to whose DNA it is largely.
There's 2 levels of source DNA,
Okay,
one being bodily fluid and the other just being pure DNA.
yes. But
Does
basically
it-
it answers the
The
question.
source, as
Who,
where it's coming
yeah,
from.
where did that DNA originate from? Who
Okay,
did that DNA originate from?
that was simple. This DNA, Can I-
That may come in a
Continue.
question, but
She
say that
says-
source level propositions
refers to.
basically refers to where the DNA is.
I'm actually very thought that she said source level propositions, there are 2 different types of source level propositions.
Those were her own
Because that's what she
questions.
said.
Those were her own questions. My question was specific, and she agrees with me
Yeah,
that
no,
when
no,
we are
no,
talking
I'm
about
sorry.
source,
I'm sorry to
we are
interrupt.
basically referring
In
to
scientific
whose.
terms, there are 2 levels of source.
We shall come to the levels, but we are.
But when you talk about source level proposition,
Yes,
does it refer to who the DNA
who the
comes from?
DNA has originated from,
Okay.
no more.
The other is activity level proposition.
That's correct, level 2.
The question here now shifts to how did the DNA get there?
Correct.
Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
The third, or the next, would be offense level proposition.
That's correct, that's level 3.
The question here now becomes, did this person commit the crime? Is
Correct.
that-
Yes.
You'll also agree with me that the last proposition, which is offense, who committed this offense,
Yes,
is a preserve of court.
absolutely. Yes, scientists cannot address that.
In your review of prosecution exhibit 6,
Is that their
that is
report?
the DNA report.
Okay, thank you.
Did it cover any aspects of activity or offense level?
No.
Possibly next exhibit number 6.
Did it cover?
No, no, no. let's prosecute exhibit number 6.
The DNA report.
All offense level.
DNA report.
Did PW8's report cover any activity level propositions?
No.
Please confirm to this court that PW8's report that you reviewed only dealt with source level propositions.
It did, yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm a bit uncomfortable with the constant reference to the DNA report as PW8's report. My lord will see that from the DNA report, PW8 signs as a reviewer. So I think we should just stick to calling it.
DNA report.
Yes, DNA report of the DNA report. Madam Prince seems to be testifying that it is his report. That is a matter directly in issue.
The question is
So-
referring to the DNA report.
Yes. So, and my lord, whose DNA report is it? I thought,
Analyst number 8.
Mr. Karuhanga, will you be patient with me? So you have known what I'm raising already because you've answered it, even before I ask it, my lord.
My lord, can I be allowed to continue?
Yes, continue. Let's refer to it as the DNA report or exhibit.
That's okay. In the instructions you received from your principals, did they inform you? And also, since you said that you listened to the evidence of PW8, were you informed that that report only concerned itself with source level propositions?
Yes.
I will then take you to page 28 of your report.
Yes.
You make propositions there, page 28, you make propositions there that form the basis of your opinion on page 29.
Yes,
Is that correct?
that's correct.
The propositions you make are: one, that Mole fired the pistol.
Correct.
The second proposition is that Mole did not fire the pistol.
Correct.
Please confirm to this court that the question of whether or not a person fired is at offense level.
No, that's activity level. the offence level would be murdered.
Okay. So it is at
Activity,
level.
yes.
All right. Please also confirm to this court that the empirical data you had was for source level and not activity level. Is that correct?
The data is used in different ways, and
Please confirm that the data you had was for source level propositions and not activity level propositions.
the information received enables me to take it to activity level. The data
Okay.
itself does not
That's
determine
okay.
which level you report at.
So the information you received allowed you to take the analysis.
You can take the scientific findings to the activity level. How the Crown have, or the initial scientist has reported the findings does not determine at which level I can report the case at.
To come to a conclusion on activity level propositions missingly,
Yes.
one must interrogate all intervening factors. Isn't that the position?
As best as possible, yes.
So what was the question? To come to conclusions at the activity level.
One must interrogate all intervening positions. One must interrogate all intervening activities. The interrogation of the intervening activities forms part of the data that you're supposed to use in coming up with the propositions. Is that correct?
Yes, that's part of it.
And in this particular case, you did not have that data, correct?
No, I had the
Okay.
information
You
from
have
the
read it.
crime scene, the laboratory.
Interrogation of intervening activities forms part of the data you're supposed to use
Yes.
to
Form a final evaluative opinion regards activity.
She said she did not have the information.
So in order to form that, I've used the information contained
Can I
in the
ask you
scene
my question
examiner.
again? Because I don't know what you're responding to. The question I gave you was that to come to a conclusion on activity level proposition, one must have had empirical data that would guide and would form the basis of making such an opinion.
It doesn't have to
Isn't
be
that
in
correct?
It doesn't have to be in the form of empirical data. Data received just via information of case handling is enough. It doesn't have to be
And
any
according
numerical.
to you,
So what is, now that leaves this interrogation of intervening activities.
No, my lord, I think what
I can make a follow-up question on that.
Yes, because I had recorded that the interrogation of intervening activities form part of the data I'm supposed to use to form a final evaluative opinion regarding activity.
Okay.
So are we moving to the next?
Yes, my lord.
Is that it?
Yes, so we use all the information available to us to form that final opinion.
my last thing I had there was it doesn't have to be.
No,
Let us follow up.
Let's the prosecution.
My lord, I'm saying the answer that you have read stops about that last part of the doesn't have to be in the home of the pre-protector.
Can I ask?
Another question, that's when she asked the question. So I wanted to pick up on this. What I have report is so. Proceed.
Okay, my lord. Other than the source level empirical data that you received, you did not have any other independent data to opine either on offense or activity level.
I had the information contained in the scene examiner's report,
Okay.
where I directly lifted the images of the firearm on the bed, the handling of the firearm, and then the subsequent laboratory examination, all of which formed part of my evaluation of the final findings.
So you had the information contained in there?
The scene of crime report,
Mm-hmm.
of which I used the images of the firearm on the bed,
Mm-hmm.
equally the image of an individual holding the firearm,
Mm-hmm.
the image of the firearm apparently being on the floor,
Mm-hmm.
the images create within the DNA examination report showing the firearm underneath its packaging.
Okay. What you have just told court is basically photos.
Yes,
Not so.
those photos represent what happened at that scene, and that is the only information I have available. I requested the contemporaneous notes but was
All
not
right.
given them.
Do those photos speak to what happened at the scene at the time of the shooting?
No, but what it's
Okay,
showing is the
that's
ability for DNA to transfer from the scene
No,
examination.
Miss Singley, you have answered me. All I needed was a yes or a no. Do they speak to that, to the time of shooting?
No, there's no information when they were taken.
You could do the interpretation. Processing of the scene, and they don't speak to the activities at the time of shooting.
That's
Not so.
correct.
As a scientist, what empirical data did you derive from the photos?
From the photos, it's opportunities for DNA to transfer from the surface on which the firearm was
And
to
that's all.
the firearm.
Okay, then that's all.
Yes, and then poor practice by handling the firearm with a gloved hand. The lack of personal protective equipment increases the likelihood of the individuals
And please
transferring
confirm
DNA
that-
at the scene.
Okay. Please confirm that the photo you're referring to, the officer was actually wearing a glove.
He
Right.
was wearing gloves, but
Yes.
nothing else, and there was no information
Just
about when that
answer
glove
me.
Whilst he was wearing gloves,
Was
that
he
doesn't
putting
protect.
on gloves or not?
He was wearing gloves,
That's
but that
enough.
does not protect the items at the scene from transfer via that glove.
Were you there at that scene?
No, hence I can only suggest
So you
that
can only assume.
I have asked for further information and it has not been provided. It provides a source for transfer.
Ac-
You saw that there were opportunities for DNA to transfer from where the DNA would have been to the firearm,
Yes,
and in the photos you are referring to, the officer was wearing gloves.
they were
Yes.
gloved, but no other protective equipment at all, and therefore I raised the question of how that scene was processed, whether by one individual, multiple individuals,
Miss
or how
Hingley,
regularly they changed their gloves, the glove then becoming a clear vector for transfer of DNA.
Miss Hingley, what you are just talking about is actually speculative. Not
It-
so. You are
It's,
speculating of what could have and what could not have.
it's not possible to do anything else in the absence of any documents presented to me.
She said she could not do.
She stated that because she didn't receive any documentation on what exactly happened at the scene, whatever she is saying is what she has been told. Because there was no information on whether the gloves was being on how many times they were changed. That's what she has said.
Being a vector for transmissions.
Yes.
That was much earlier.
That is the opportunity for transfer.
Yes.
Yes. That the opportunities for transfer.
Please confirm to this court that you have no information as to what actually happened at the scene.
I have the scene report, and that's
Only-
all I have.
Okay.
But I know how DNA transfers, and hence those
We will
images
go to
were highly
that. We will go to
significant.
that. We will go to that. You therefore cannot confirm or opine conclusively
No, it's
on
never.
what
It's never possible to
could
confirm
have
conclusively.
happened or what could not have happened.
No, but there's significant
cannot.
risk of contamination via the
cannot
processing of the scene.
Just
It's not
answer my
possible to
question.
confirm.
You cannot confirm.
No one can confirm. No one.
She cannot confirm what happened and what could not have happened at the scene. That one she said for herself.
The images demonstrate a significant risk of transfer of DNA through the processing of the
We
scene.
will talk about those images, Miss Hingley, so don't go ahead of yourself.
No.
They talked about them and it's already.
Yeah. Do you agree with me that scientific findings should be based on empirical evidence and not conjecture, or wishful thinking?
If there is
Do
no
you
scientific,
agree
if there
with
is
me?
no scientific support for the opinion, then absolutely. However, there is grounds and scientific support for the use of those photographs in this case.
Do you agree with me that scientific findings should be based on empirical evidence and not conjecture or wishful thinking?
It's certainly not wishful thinking.
I am asking you, do you agree with me?
If there is empirical data, then yes, that should be used. However, it does not negate the use of other information contained within case papers.
But you agree that it should be.
If it is at all possible, empirical data, but it does not negate, as long as you can underpin your opinions with the scientific evidence, then that forms part of the standard review.
Okay. So wishful thinking is not part of it.
No, absolutely not. Any opinion is
And then
based on
also-
information.
And then also conjecture is also not part of it.
No, there must be sound reasoning behind every opinion presented.
And I agree. My lord, it is one. I don't know how long we should.
30 minutes. I think we will go until 1:30.
No
Have
problem.
a shorter break.
Okay.
Just 1 hour and come back at 2:30.
Okay. No problem at all. Shall we take the interpretation? Or you don't have much? Okay. We will go to page 3 of your report.
Yes.
The postmortem report was one of the documents you reviewed.
Yes, it was.
And under paragraph 2, information received,
Yes.
you indicate that no bullet fragments were detected during examination of the head, suggesting that the bullet wounds observed by both ears comprised the entry and exit wound of a single bullet.
Yes, that's what I understand.
When you, that's what she understands. When you use the word suggesting, you are drawing an inference. Correct?
I'm using the information present, yes. No more.
And you have just said that when you use the word suggesting, you're drawing an inference of what you have understood.
Yes, absolutely. I haven't examined it. This is purely what was in the pathology report, that no bullet fragments were found. It bears no scientific impact on my findings at all.
Do you agree that post-mortem reports are done by pathologists?
Absolutely, and I am not a pathologist, so I purely use the information contained in there.
I'll take you to section 8.8 of your code. Of section 8.8.5. Page 220.
20.
Yes, madam. Section 88.5. Have you
Yes.
reached there?
Yes.
In conducting a case review, you are actually prohibited from doing analysis on postmortems and medical care.
I have made no analysis at all. I bear no. The absence of a bullet would suggest it has gone. That's not a scientific opinion. That is based
So-
on the information provided.
What I should take from you is that you did not do any analysis,
Not on the
Or-
post-mortem at all.
but you did a review of the postmortem.
I'd read it purely to gain the information of whether there were bullets inside the head or not. It was purely for information, hence it didn't form part of my disclosed main information used. It's purely just for demonstration that that's the pathology as said, no more.
Okay. So, according to you, you read it simply to get what the pathologist said, right?
Yes, as we ordinarily do, yes.
Which part of that report said that there were bullet wounds observed by both ears, comprised the entry wound of a single bullet? Actually, you said,
I don't know if
you said that, if I may read your report, no bullet fragments were detected during the examination of the head, that the bullet wounds observed by both ears comprised the entry and exit wound of a single bullet wound, of a single bullet. Which of them said that specifically?
I couldn't point you to the exact area, I'm sorry.
You reviewed these documents.
Yes, but
Didn't you?
it was purely for information. I haven't referred to specific pages.
But you drew inferences out of this report, didn't you?
This was purely for information. Those inferences didn't affect my scientific findings at all. I can't comment on the pathology findings at all. But there was
Just a minute, Miss Hingley. Would you like to refresh your memory with the report?
if I can see it.
You received it.
I have it electronically. If you're happy with me using the electronic version.
Look at it and tell me where it said that both ears comprised the entry and exit wound of a single bullet.
So the document I have was the Uganda Police post-mortem report, which was reflective of the post-mortem on the 2nd of the 11th, 2023, and on page 3, paragraph 2, under injuries, it says satellite-shaped gunshot entry wound. Further on that paragraph, through the right external auditory, there's a satellite-shaped gunshot wound, and it says that the bullet hit the left temporal skull. So there is no mention, and it's bullet singular. And again, later on in that paragraph, the bullet entered the left temporal brain lobe. And again, throughout into the midbrain and to the right temporal lobe, and the bullet singular all the way through. The bullet on its way further hit, and this is the information I have taken, that there was an entry and an exit wound by the ears, and that singular bullet was used in all the report.
So now, if you read that information, and you say it is only for information purposes, when you indicate in your report suggesting, is that for information purposes or for you to draw conclusions?
Purely for information purposes.
And yet you make suggestions in your information, isn't that?
I've used that. There's no specific, nowhere in the report does it say a single bullet was used. It's saying that there everywhere is singular bullet, and therefore this report is suggesting that. I say no further, and the pathologist would need to confirm.
So meaning that you included information that was not there in the report, right?
The information is in the report, and in my opinion, whilst it doesn't specifically state a single bullet, it does state that there are injuries to both ears, and it has been referred to entry and exit wound, and from there on it says the trajectory of the bullet singular through the brain. So that report is suggesting. No more, there's no evaluation associated with that.
Hold on, Ms. Singly. That report has not suggested. It is you suggesting.
The report has mentioned a bullet, that there are injuries to both ears, and therefore this is suggesting that there was a single bullet. Nowhere does it mention the trajectory of a second bullet. Everywhere is a single bullet, and that is purely the information I have used. I am not a pathologist, and my report doesn't mention it any further.
So do you agree with me, in simple terms without complicating issues, that you made suggestions?
I have interpreted what that the pathology is saying,
Okay.
even though it does
Just a minute,
not.
let's record what
So,
you have said.
assuming,
You have
suggesting.
interpreted.
I
Let's-
haven't there's no interpretation. This is a reading of a document where there's no specific classification or clarification that there was a bullet. It is merely using that information that there is no reference at all to more than one bullet. The trajectory only mentions one, and therefore this report is suggesting. I am not saying anything beyond that, and there is certainly no interpretation of this meaning of that. It's merely me carrying over information provided to me from this report.
That is the information that was in the post-mortem report.
In the post-mortem report, it clearly says that there are injuries, an entry and an exit wound by both ears, and that the trajectory was always referred to as bullet singular.
What was the significance of using that in your report when it was not forming part
It
of
was-
the analysis?
It's just general information as to, for example, if the pathologist had said it's a stab injury, the gun becomes insignificant. So it's the fact that the pathologist has said it's gunshot wound, and we're looking at two injuries where it's in and out, so there's nothing in that brain that can actually help the forensic evaluation. So therefore the examination of the bullets found at the scene is the right approach. No more than that. Doesn't affect my overall interpretation at all.
So, I'll take it that when you looked at the post-mortem report, according to you, was only for information purposes, right?
Yes, that's correct. We'd look at post-mortem for any arterial damage,
That's
for
okay. You
specific
have
blood
answered
stain.
me.
That's what I use the
You have
pathologist for.
answered me. While you take it for information purposes, you draw inferences and conclusions as to what should be or should not be, right?
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
While it is supposed to simply provide you with information, you made suggestions as to what it should be,
No, there's
or
no.
what it should not be,
No, there's
or
no.
what could be.
No, there's no interpretation of that report whatsoever other than there were 2 injuries and there's no fragments, and for the term bullet indicates that it's gone straight through. Therefore, there's no forensic opportunity for fragments which may have been found. It's a standard approach to post-mortem reports to see if anything useful could be used in a strategy.
That's fine. So, when you use the word suggesting, that was your understanding of what the report was talking about, not so?
Yes, that's my interpretation of that report. There's no evaluation associated with that. I don't know if this
That's
report
okay.
is robust
that was
or not.
your interpretation.
Yes.
That's fine. I would therefore be correct to say you read the post-mortem report and gave your interpretations about the report. Not so.
No, there's no interpretation whatsoever in what I've said. Clearly suggesting is the wrong word here, but it was no implication that I have evaluated this at all. The information I have is there are injuries to both ears and the bullet trajectory is in and out and there's no fragments in the brain. That would be all I would ever use a pathology report for.
Have an interpretation.
Sorry.
No, asking for an interpretation.
Ebisani bino ebyampaire kibiina ekibikola kalungi ekikubazaho hali ekintu ekyabaireho abwire obwokurasa kandi we nk'omukugu akusobola kwetegereza ebyabaireho akwetegereza nti omu byabaireho hakabaho okuhinga.
Please go to page 3 still of your report.
Yes.
And paragraph 3, starting with Molly, reported that prior to the incident, she had been involved in domestic violence incident in which she sustained injuries, including fractured left hand and right arm.
Yes.
Did you interview Molly on this?
Sorry?
Did you interview Molly on
No,
this information?
this was information
Okay.
purely provided
You
during
said
the
you
case.
did not interview her, that's enough.
No.
Then you also go ahead to state that she was comatose for a number of days, and on recovery, it was alleged that she had fatally shot Henry Katanga, and she was charged with murder.
Yes, that's what I understand.
From the documents you reviewed, which specific one provided you with that information?
This was provided as background information during the
Which
various
document?
conversations with KAA.
So this was conversation?
This was conversations
Okay.
of background information
That's
with
okay.
KAA.
You will also agree with me that information relating to her health status is related to medical care, isn't it?
It is, but as I've stated,
Just
it's
a
from
minute.
information
You have-
provided. I have not
Is it
claimed to-
related to medical care, yes
There's,
or no?
There's no interpretation, and this is background information provided.
Just give me an answer. Is it related to medical care or not?
It is, but there's no
Okay.
interpretation at all.
From what you have just provided court, apart from the documents that you were provided, you had a lot of other information that formed the basis of your opinion. Is that correct?
None of the information regards the medical formed the basis of my evaluation of
I
the
have
findings.
not gone to medical care. I'll go there when time is required.
None of the information provided forms any part in my evaluation of the DNA findings at all. This is purely background information provided for the purpose of my report.
So my question to you is, do you agree that you had a lot of information other than in the documents that guided you in making your conclusions?
No, the information which guided my conclusions is stipulated in the bullet points of information received. Other information became background information, such as the injuries Molly had sustained
I'll
and the
come
injuries
to that.
Henry had sustained.
Ms. Hingley, I'll come to the fact that you actually relied on it, and I'm coming there. But I want you to confirm that you had a lot of information. Not so. Some from the documents and some from the conversations you had with KAA, right?
Yes, but the information,
That's okay.
the pertinent information which
Ms.
was
Hingley,
involved in my evaluation is very different to the background information.
kindly respond to the questions that I have provided and don't set your own questions. Do you hear me? So pay attention and provide an answer. As brief as that.
Answer. She may not like the answer, but that's the witness's answer. So she's answered. It's no question twice.
It is not what the witness wants here. So now, yes, ma'am.
What I've written down, I have a lot of information in the documents.
Yeah.
And other information was background information.
I'll make a follow-up on that, my lord. For what purpose did you need the background information?
Sometimes within the background information, there is relevance that aids our expectations of detecting DNA. For example, if we look for the pathologists for specific injuries, for specific blood pattern staining, and this is the information we use to gauge our final our expectations of the science before we actually see it. But in this instance, it's a standard format to a statement where we have information received which is purely background information.
So you say that sometimes within the relevant information, there is, sometimes within the background information, there's relevant information that aids
Our expectations of the findings, but in this instance, the background information was just that. It enables us, the pathology confirms that there was a shooting, so therefore the gun is of significance, and equally that it occurred in the marital home of both Henry and Molly.
Miss Hingley, is it therefore your evidence that all the background information you received in this case did not help you in making the interpretations in your report?
The only information
Is
was...
it your evidence that the background information did not help you in coming up with your conclusions?
That stipulated in the information received, yes, didn't affect the conclusions at all.
I did not ask about affecting. Did it support you in making your opinion?
Not in the information received, no.
It did not?
No.
Okay. I'll draw you to page 28. This is what guides you. In paragraph 1, you actually referred to the injuries as a basis of one of your opinions. Is this correct or not?
Yes, these were the bleeding injuries.
Okay.
So the bleeding injuries did, but they weren't the injuries I was referring to. They were the fractures, not the bleeding injuries. Therefore, the expectation is high that there is blood.
No, you have answered me. Please don't blabber too much. We will move on.
It's not research, but it is finished, Mr. No, I have addressed it.
As an expert,
The English definition of blabbering is actually very bad.
Mr.
he's the one now actually
I
blabbering.
have already raised the issue.
But my lord, can we also request that court reigns over the witness to answer specifically? Because where this blabbering is coming in, my lord, prosecution asks a specific questions and she chooses what to answer. And my colleague is being so kind to her. I don't think I would have been patient with that kind of options. My lord, we ask specific questions, she chooses what to answer. This is cross-examination. She should be advised that she's in court. We are taking a lot of time because she's...
The attendant explanation is because the question is scientific.
No, my
No,
lord.
my
No.
lord.
No.
There is nothing.
No.
Actually, my lord, from the questions that my colleague has traversed so far, they are questions of fact. There is nothing scientific there. I don't think myself I would have been this kind to her. You know? So, maybe...
Please provide provide
Yeah, she-
answers. If there is a
she-
question of clarity,
Yeah.
it will be addressed in re-examination.
Thank you, my lord.
Sir, my lord, similar with the cross-examination shouldn't be
Can I continue, my lord?
answers.
Yes, proceed.
Ms. Hingley, as an expert, you should be aware that a case review should be neutral and is intended to make court understand the whole case in a straight and clear manner. Not so.
Correct.
On the contrary, a defense review in an adversarial system, like in the UK and also Uganda, is intended to find weaknesses in the prosecution evidence and to build a defense case. Is that correct?
No, the purpose is to review the Crown case and to comment on. If I agree with full findings, I say I agree with full findings. It's not to find holes in the case at all.
All right. Ordinarily, for a case review of this nature, how long would it take you to undertake it?
It really does depend on the number of exhibits and what I find when I review the findings.
Would it take a month? Since you had the information, would it take you a month?
Once
2 weeks?
once everything is received,
Yes.
I would expect that a case review of this side will take about a month's worth of work.
A month.
A month to
Okay.
confirm everything, yes.
All right. So in this case, when was the last time you received, when did you receive the last information?
I can't remember, I'm sorry.
You can't.
But it's not a case of, it's a linear process at all.
Do we say last year?
Yes, it would have been last year.
2024?
Yes,
Okay.
it's 25.
2024?
2024 was the initial contact.
Can we say
2025
2025?
information was still coming through.
Okay. So we can say by 2025?
The end of 2025, I believe.
Okay. You testified in this court and made a lot of references on if the scene was covered with blood. You also said if the accused sustained injuries, and it is very reflective on your report on pages 5, page 7. Basically, you have a number of ifs.
Yes, yes.
Your use of the word if is made as an assumption, right?
It's the good grounds for an assumption based on
It's
the
an
information.
assumption.
Yes.
Okay. And none of the assumptions you make were verified to establish the true status of facts, correct?
Correct. I wasn't provided with any
That's enough.
documents to help.
You have answered me. The reason you could not verify, you're saying you had not been given any information.
I've not been provided with any notes made at the scene at all.
Okay. My understanding, therefore, is when you make comments about the scene, about injuries of parties, this was based on assumptions and not concrete evidence to support. You don't have evidence to support any of the assertions.
I had images of the scene where there is copious amounts of blood spatter and there are blood pools on the floor. Therefore, it would be a reasonable assumption that was significant amount of bloodshed available for onward transfer.
Other than that, you don't have any other information.
I have information that the bed was used by both Molly and Henry, and therefore it's reasonable to assume their DNA would be present on that item.
Okay.
There's been no testing to confirm this, but it is a reasonable scientific expectation that there would be DNA from both available on that bed for onward transfer.
Okay. In relation to my earlier question, I'll refer you to page 28
28.
of your report.
Yes.
In your report, you state and make reference to domestic violence being present.
Not on page 28, no. Domestic context.
Read. Given the domestic context, which included alleged domestic violence.
Oh, sorry, yes, my error, yes. Sorry, yes.
So you make reference to
Sorry,
domestic
I do,
violence.
yes.
According to, who is alleging the violence?
The information I obtained
Who
from
is alleging violence?
From information I was provided from KAA, there was domestic violence.
From the information you got,
Yes.
who is alleging violence?
Don't know.
Hmm?
I don't know. That's the information I've been provided with.
In the documents you reviewed, which particular one?
This was at verbal discussions with KAA. This wasn't in any of the crime documents at all.
This was a verbal. Did you verify this fact? You, as Miss Hingley, did you verify this fact?
That it, my
Did
job as
you
a
or
scientist
you
is
did
not
not?
to verify the information I've been provided.
Did you or you did not?
I do not verify any information provided. As is clear in my statement, if the information
You have
changes, I
already provided the
re-evaluate.
answer. Do you know who assaulted Mole?
No,
Do you know how Mole was assaulted?
No, but from the blood spatter, it's apparent that there was significant impacts
we will go
into
to the
wet blood.
spatter later. Just
But
answer
that
my question.
scientifically, there was impacts into wet blood.
Did the blood spatter indicate who
No,
assaulted?
no.
Was what into wet blood alone? What into wet blood alone?
She says the blood spatter did not indicate who assaulted.
Something into wet blood.
That was not what I asked.
I recorded I did not know who assaulted Molly. I did not know how Molly was
Was
assaulted.
assaulted. Yeah,
From my head, she said from the blood spatter.
that was her own imagination, maybe. It's not.
What scientific document does she have that shows
I have not even asked about a scientific document.
what you asked was what information did she have to show how that Molly was assaulted? And her answer was
No.
from the blood spatter was significant impacts in something.
So if you had why was
No, I want to know the something.
I did not go to blood spotting.
No, no, my other question was asked.
Don't worry, the record will have. The transcribed record will have everything.
We will put down, my lord.
Pardon?
What we will put down.
Because they asked a question and she's answering, you know that. Well, she will arrive at that. That's what
Yes,
will arrive at
the blood.
at the blood spatter and we'll have an opportunity to question.
No, but my other question was specific. I think that question is specific. The answer was specific to the question.
The answer, the question was, do you know who assaulted Molly? And the answer was, I do not know who assaulted Molly. Then the other question was, do you know how Molly was assaulted? And she said, I do not know how Molly was assaulted.
Yes.
Then, yes, I do not know how Molly was assaulted. Then the witness added that they
I got the witnesses scientifically from the blood spatter.
is that what you want her to say? Or
No,
is
no,
what
Maybe
she
that's
said?
what you want her to say.
That's what she said.
But the court has guided that from the transcript. If she ever said it,
Maybe to settle Mr. Karuhanga's thoughts. Did the blood spatter mention who assaulted Molly?
It's not possible from the spatter to say who, but it gives an indication of how that blood spatter was created.
That's okay. We went through Part C of your code. Forensic regulator.
Yes.
Part C specifically provides for the conduct of an expert.
Yes.
Part C. That's at page 114. And it requires an expert to act with honesty.
Yes.
With integrity.
Yes.
With objectivity.
Yes.
With impartiality.
Yes.
in conducting caseworks.
Yes.
Please confirm with me that one of the things that make an expert's report unreliable is proof that the expert was biased in doing their work.
Yes.
Some of the evidence of bias includes where an expert acts with personal interest.
Yes.
Correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Where, hope I'm not going faster. Acting with personal interest. Where an expert acts on information outside the scope of his or her instructions.
If that information is then used for further an evaluation, yes. If they've gone outside their area of expertise.
It makes them biased,
It,
right?
if used in a certain way, yes.
Okay.
But is it the outside the scope of
His or her instructions.
Experience.
if the expert acts outside the scope of their
Experience.
I said instruction. That's why I advise you to kindly listen to me. On information outside the scope of his or her instructions.
The instructions provided do not limit to the review of my case.
I'm just giving you general information of
That,
what
that
makes
doesn't
an
create
expert
bias. No.
bias.
No. No.
Okay. An expert can also be biased where they rely on unverified sources of information other than one's analysis. Is that correct?
No.
It can also be evidence of bias if there is evidence to show that the expert relied on facts other than information placed before them. Is that correct?
Yes, if they're using information they weren't given, yes.
Where one uses information out of the documents of review, right?
Documents and or conversations we've had with the various parties involved in the case.
So once you use information outside,
if
you're
I
biased.
haven't been provided with that and I have made that up to make the scientific findings fit, then yes, that's bias.
Where an expert relies on information that supports only a given hypothesis while totally ignoring everything else
Yes.
is a sign of bias.
Yes, where only one alternative's been considered, yes.
Also, it's evidence of bias where an expert makes selective conclusions, cherry picking.
Yes.
An expert is also biased where they have information which is over and above the scope of their instructions
It depends how that information's used.
is used.
Yes.
So I'll take you to your report.
Yes.
At page 5.
5. Yes.
Paragraph 4, you will refer to the word reportedly.
Sorry, where are we looking?
Look at page. Read it.
5, yes.
Mhm. Go to paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4. Additional exhibits.
Oh, yes.
Read it.
Additional exhibits were reportedly subsequently created from the firearm, namely the magazine
That's
item.
okay.
Sorry.
That's enough. You also use the word apparently in the previous paragraph.
Yes.
Apparently.
Yes, because there's no confirmation.
Yeah. Those two words are actually used because you had no confirmation.
There's no confirmation, however, in the documents
No.
they specified that those items existed.
Miss
So
Hingley,
it's not made up. It's based on the records provided.
you see now, when you use those words, it means that you were not actually even sure of the source.
They were in the
Yes
they were
or
in
no?
they were in the documents, so I know they
Were
existed.
you sure of the information or not?
They were taken direct from the Crown's documents, so yes.
Did they indicate reportedly or apparently?
The only reference I have is very minimal. I do not have full continuity, and therefore I cannot confirm where they were taken, who took them, and where they went afterwards.
So,
Hence, apparently.
okay. She could not confirm. That's the use of the word apparently. Please confirm to this court that even when you did not confirm, like you have said, you still went ahead and made conclusions, didn't you?
No, no conclusions were made. It's
did
from the
not make-
It's from the documents that the exhibits 4.1 and
Is
4.3
it your
existed.
evidence that you did not make any conclusions?
Not with those two, no. It's a point that samples were
not-
taken from the firearm before it reached the laboratory.
So you did not make any conclusions relating to...
The only conclusions are that it's recorded that they were taken, but I have no notes whatsoever as to who took them, when they were taken, and any continuity of those. So it's an observation of, again, of poor scene control.
Okay.
So you did not make any conclusions relating to?
No, it's an observation that within the notes at the scene, an exhibit, the magazine was exhibited as 4-1, and equally a swab was taken from the trigger, creating 4-3. It was mentioned in that scene report, and it again is mentioned in the DNA report, but there is no information that I'd expect from the person taking that swab, when it was taken, who it was taken by, and the protective equipment that they were wearing to prevent cross-contamination. So it's an observation that the scene had, the firearm had been manipulated at the scene.
That's okay, Ms.
So
Hingley.
what conclusions are you not making?
So this is purely that it's another stage where something has happened to that firearm at the scene,
Okay.
where I cannot, it introduces another possible mechanism for onward transfer of DNA, but I cannot confirm because the notes were not provided.
All right. In that, your report, did you make any conclusions relating to the pistol? Yes or no?
Yes, the firearm and how
Yes,
it was
that's
handled
answer.
forms the basis.
Did you make any conclusions relating to the cartridge casing?
Yes.
Yes or
Yes.
no?
Yes.
Did you make any conclusions relating to the magazine?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
This was regardless of the fact that you could not, or you were not in possession of the information relating to those exhibits. Correct? Yes or no?
I didn't have full information, but
That's enough.
I had partial information which demonstrated there was poor scene
You
handling.
had partial
I had
information.
partial information, as did anyone else in this
That's
case.
okay.
You had partial information that indicated that, huh?
That poor scene handling had taken place.
At page 4 of your report,
Yes.
you indicate that Patricia had or was living with Molly and Henry Katanga up to 4 days before the alleged incident.
Yes, that's what I understand.
From the document, this is paragraph 4.
Yes, on page 3, yes. Yes, page
Yes.
3. Was it 4?
Page 3. I further understand that Patricia lived with Henry and Molly up to 4 days. 3. It's page 3. The
Yes.
fourth paragraph.
Yes, again, that's information provided by KAA in the various discussions we had.
Oh. Kindly, you said the source was?
KAA in the general conversations about the case.
And this was not contained in any of the documents you reviewed, correct?
No.
That general information you received from KAA
Yes,
actually guided you in coming up with your conclusions, correct?
that formed
Did
part
it guide you in making your conclusions?
purely that there had been a reasonable expectation of detecting DNA
Did
from
they
Patricia.
guide you?
Yes, it gave me an information on which to have an expectation,
So,
but that information did not dictate my findings at all.
So it gave you information on which to base.
To base an expectation of DNA from Patricia being present, just as being part of the social domestic setting.
at page 7 of your report,
Yes,
you indicated that you did not have information about crime scene management, right?
I only had the crime scene report, yes.
Okay. She did not have information about crime scene management. That was the question I gave her. She says she only had the crime scene report. Maybe you will respond.
So I didn't have details of how the scene was processed, but I have the crime scene report.
Okay. Your conclusions, therefore, on page 7 are based on hypothetical inferences and not actual cases, not so?
The details which were in the crime scene report contain those photos which
Your
demonstrated
conclusions on page 7,
in
are
respect to the
based
crime
on-
scene.
yes, are based on hypothetical inferences and not a particular case, right?
They are based on the information contained within the crime report, those photos taken, the fact that I had images of individuals at that scene without
Ms.
proper
Henry,
protective
when
equipment.
I'll take you to page 7. Specifically, when you're making about international standards and profiling,
Yes,
those conclusions specifically are made based on hypothetical inferences and not on an actual case, right?
in this instance they were not wholly hypothetical because I had indications that the scene was poorly managed. There were individuals in that scene without the required protective equipment. There was information that an individual with gloves, but I do not have. So whilst an incomplete picture is present, this interpretation was not solely based on hypothetical because there was evidence that that scene was very poorly managed.
Were you informed that all procedures of crime scene management and recovery of exhibits were provided in this court? And you listened through the evidence, by the way. Are you aware of that?
I didn't listen to the full crime scene, so I do not know the ins and outs of it, but
What part of the evidence did you listen to?
I listened fully to the DNA evidence.
sent the evidence related to the crime scene?
Crime scene, yes, didn't hear that.
Sent the evidence relating to the case?
The DNA from start to finish, yes.
Would your opinion be different if you were provided with information that actually indeed all the precautionary measures you talk about were undertaken?
The information
Would
in that
your
report showed that it
opinion-
wasn't,
Would your opinion be different?
possibly, but
Okay.
the document shows that they weren't.
That's fine. I'll take you to page 16 of your report.
Yes.
At page 16, paragraph 1,
Yes.
you said that Patricia picked up the firearm at the scene and placed it on the bed.
That's what I was
Is this
informed.
information that you also received from KAA?
Yes.
Okay. Let's take the interpretation. I would like you to confirm that you held several meetings with KAA.
Yes,
right?
online. Yes.
And in fact, please confirm that you kept receiving progressive updates about this case until you did your report, right?
Yes, there's constant communication between us, yes.
Who in particular was
And from various bodies were sending me over documents,
Who?
links.
I haven't asked even the question. She received regular updates until she made her report. Who in particular from KAA gave you these updates?
My main contact was Ellison.
Okay. Anybody else?
I was receiving documents from various parties in KAA just for administrative purposes.
Specifically on updates, apart from Elson, anybody else?
Not that I recall, no.
Okay. And please confirm that you came up with your report on 17th of March 2026 after this court had found that the accused had a case to answer. Is that correct?
Yes, that's not unusual.
Okay. Please confirm that Euroformix is a widely peer-reviewed and globally accepted software in DNA analysis, isn't it?
Yes, the producers that wrote it are renowned, but in the UK nobody uses it.
That's okay.
Yes, sir.
widely accepted software in DNA analysis, isn't it?
Yes, but that's different from forensic laboratories. No one in the UK, this is the first time I've come across a laboratory using Euroformics in a forensic field.
All right. Fortunately, we are in Uganda, so are not in the UK.
No.
Do you confirm that Euroformics was first released in 2017 to 2019? Do you
Yes, I
recall
believe
that?
so, yes.
And you, as Miss Hingley, you last did technical work in the year 2003, right?
In 2003, this
Yeah.
sophisticated software was not available. However, I
So-
know the systems used in the United Kingdom, so I understand the principles of all the software.
That's okay. Just answer my question and we'll be able to move faster. That means that even when you undertook this case review, you used a different software, right?
Yes, everyone uses a different software in the UK, but the principles are the same.
You have answered me, Ms. Singley. She used a different software to do the review. The software you used was STR.
StarMix is one of the
StarMix?
software used, but in this instance, I've carried out no calculations at all.
Okay. And then you also used what other software?
Other software available in the UK is called Like Ltd,
Mm-hmm.
but all the software used is locked down. It cannot be changed by any of the analysts in the laboratory.
I have not asked about laboratory team. Please stick to what I have asked you. That Euroformics is an open source. You would have accessed it to do your review, not so? Wouldn't it have been prudent for you to use it?
It was
To do your
available,
analysis.
but the open source...
Was it prudent or not?
No, I did not need to use it at all.
Euroformics, just like other softwares, one must set up parameters
Yes,
for internal use in a lab, not so?
yes.
These parameters vary from lab to lab.
Yes, they do.
So meaning that each lab is at liberty to set up its own standards in accordance to acceptable international standards, correct?
Yes, they need to validate their process.
From your report, you indicate that because you did not have validation protocols, you cannot therefore assess whether the statistical calculations in the report, prosecution exhibit 6, are correct or not.
Yes,
Not
that's
so.
correct. There's no evidence, I have not been provided with any evidence that Euroformix was validated to the system used by Uganda Police.
Based on what you have just told court,
So you are saying asked in her report because she did not have validation protocol
she cannot,
assess whether
the statistical calculations in the report, prosecution exhibit 6, she cannot assess if the statistical calculations in the report were valid. That being the case, you are therefore not in a position to tell whether the findings in that report are incorrect in any way.
The actual statistical
Are
evaluation,
you in a position to tell?
there's
whether
different
the
reasons why I
findings-
disagree with the statistics. So that's what I was starting to explain. It's the mechanisms of what was put in, not necessarily the workings of the product.
Ms.
So I
Singlet,
disagree for very different reasons.
you have just told us that you did not do any statistical calculations in
Yes,
this case.
but it's not necessarily the final figure I'm disagreeing with. It's what was put into it. So it's not Euroformix per se.
So, I'll go back to my question, and please listen to me. Because you did not do any statistical calculations, and you also did not have any validation protocols, you are therefore not in a position to tell whether the statistical calculations are incorrect in any way.
The
Correct?
No, the information which was put into the statistical software is wrong. It's not necessarily the figure. If you don't put the correct information in, then the final figure out is questionable. It's
Okay.
not necessarily the internal settings. I disagree on the statistical, on the basis that the information put in was wrong.
Okay.
So, despite the fact that you did not conduct any statistical calculations and you don't have the validation protocols, you're able to tell that the information put in the software was wrong.
Yes, I disagree with the initial interpretation of the DNA results before it even got to statistics.
That's fine. Please confirm.
You're saying that you disagree with the initial interpretation of the DNA results?
Yes.
Even before?
Even before, so the statistics is a final stage in the evaluation, and that's trying to give you the likelihood that the DNA has originated from certain individuals. That comes after the actual interpretation of the result itself.
We will get there. Please confirm that at page 19 of your report, paragraph 2,
Yes,
you actually agree with the findings.
yes, based on the raw data.
You
I
agree.
would expect the billion from that raw data.
You agree.
Yes,
Okay.
It didn't need to go through specialist statistical software. So
Hold on.
I agree with
Hold
that.
on. Also at page 22, you agree with the findings, right? Look at your page 22, paragraph 2.
And again, there's a significant difference in that. I think we need
You
to.
do agree
But
with
it's-
the findings, don't you?
But it's not the statistical. In fact,
Please.
this
go
is a
to-
major profile. It didn't require the specialist statistical
Miss Hingley,
evaluation, so
please
the
go
billion
to-
is sound. So I'm not necessarily
My Lord,
agreeing
if
with
the
the
witness
statistics.
can only listen and she stops talking.
You, at page 20, at page 19, you agree with the finding based on the road data.
Paragraph 2 of your report,
Yes. So on yes.
And then at
page 22, yes.
you agree, what do you agree?
Yes, so both of these results consist of DNA profiles from at least 2 with a clear major profile. That major profile is not in doubt that it's a single contributor, and therefore a billion can be assigned to that. It didn't require specialist statistical software at all. So I agree that on my interpretation of that result, there's a clear profile and immediately that gets assigned a billion. So I agree that irrespective of how they got there, it would come out as a billion. So I'm not agreeing with the statistical software per se. It's a very different way of doing mixture interpretation. You need to be clear what is actually being considered.
So the findings on page 22 is also based on road data.
Yes, so it's based on the electropherogram. There's a clear major profile, and that immediately carries a 1 in a billion figure. It didn't require any statistical evaluation at all. So I agree that the final figures produced were 1 in a billion, irrespective of how the mechanisms that the Ugandan police went through to reach that final. So the interpretation based on the EPG, I'd expect a billion. So it's not agreeing with the statistical software per se.
Ms. Hingley, please confirm to this court that when it came to the statistical calculations relating to samples that belonged to the deceased, you agreed with the analyst.
Which sample, sorry?
However, when it came to samples that relate to A1, you choose to disagree.
No, that's totally wrong.
And I put to you that that is cherry picking.
That is totally wrong, and I find that
And
quite
you
insulting.
were very biased in coming up with this, your report.
No, the science is absolutely right, and I have reported the science as is present in the results, and I disagree where I disagree with the interpretation. There is no cherry picking at all.
In fact, you totally acted unethically and outside your code of practice.
No, that is not correct at all.
Ms. Hingley, do you agree with me that parts of the report you agree with and parts of the report that you claim you disagree with
Yes.
were actually prepared using the same process.
I'm sorry. What do you mean process?
Same software, and therefore the calculations are system made.
I think there's a
Not so.
there's a significant difference here in that when you have a major profile, there's no need. So I'm agreeing that the final result is as I would expect.
So you are agreeing to a major profile.
Yes.
Okay.
So I agree to the initial interpretation.
That's okay. And that,
So what do we report? Parts of
report,
the report relating to a major profile?
Yes. Yes, so if a major profile is present, I agree it will be 1 in a billion, but there didn't need to be any calculation to get to that finding. So that's not me agreeing with the statistical software. The real
But-
statistical software comes in the more complex DNA results.
So because there was no need for statistical
No.
work.
We know that a full profile, a major profile, is well in excess of 1 in a billion, hence we apply the 1 in a billion.
okay. But you'll also confirm to this court,
Just to be clear, it's not every major profile. I think the specific ones on those
she has said,
that
she has said
parts of
every
the
major.
report that relates to a major profile.
Yeah.
the specific
I
ones.
agree.
My understanding is specific ones.
The witness is there.
Do we take what you're saying?
Parts of the report, parts of the report which relate to a major profile you agree with,
Yeah.
because there was no need for statistical calculation.
Yes. If I agree with the interpretation, it's a major profile, it's 1 in a billion.
So my objection is that what I think we seem to be misunderstanding is I think we seem to be saying everywhere the report says major profile, she agrees.
But it is him
It is
misunderstanding.
you who
We are
is
not.
misunderstanding. For us, we
I
have
don't
not.
think that's what she has said.
She has just said what I've read. Parts of the report that relate to a major profile, I agree with them, because there was no need for statistical calculation.
Yes.
So if I've reviewed the DNA and I've called a major profile, I've reviewed it and agree the statistics.
All right. I am going to begin on this, and it is a long topic. Maybe this one here. My Lord, the topic I am going to begin on is a long one. And once I begin on it, for me to communicate effectively to court, I wouldn't want a break on it. It's already 4 o'clock, and
Can we break it and reach? We have some time. We lost already 30 minutes in the morning. Can you break it up such that at least it goes logically by until it reaches 5?
I will try my best, but this is all right. We can make progress. Miss Hingley, a negative control's purpose is to detect any contamination during laboratory processing. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes, that's its purpose.
In fact, according to In fact, according to the available literature, you know about Professor Peter Gill.
Yes.
Peter Gill. The contamination is usually tube specific.
No.
And can I finish my statement? The contamination is usually tube specific, and therefore the negative control cannot give an absolute assurance about any associated samples. Is that correct?
Yes, which is why you repeat the samples when you obtain contamination in it.
So it cannot, the negative control cannot give a
It cannot give it. One, my lord, the contamination is usually tube specific, and therefore a negative control cannot give absolute assurance about any associated samples, to which she says it's correct.
Unless you repeat,
When-
that's why we repeat.
Can I go ahead? When a laboratory produces an electropherogram, there is always electronic background noise
Yes, but very
as
low.
a baseline inherent to capillary
Correct.
electrophoresis.
Yes. Yes, that's right.
As a baseline inherent to capillary what?
Electrophoresis. And each expert is actually trained to identify and distinguish artifacts
Yes.
like to identify and distinguish artifacts like off-ladder alleles,
Yes.
spike peaks,
Yes.
forward stutters,
Yes.
backward stutter,
Yes.
and you are able to redact them from the electropherogram.
Yes, that's
Right?
correct. Yes.
So laboratories across the world set their own analytical thresholds.
Yes,
Not
from the validation process, yes.
analytical thresholds. And the reason is because the There is inherent background noise in every environment, right?
Yes, yes, there is, yes.
So in setting a threshold,
Yes.
any signal below the threshold is treated as background noise, not so?
There should be two thresholds in DNA profiling, one for the level of your background and one between which an allele is uncertain and then beyond which it is certain. So there should be at least two thresholds in the profiling system.
That's okay, and that's noted. But
There should be at least two thresholds in the DNA profiling system.
Yes, one of which is the baseline. The second one is between baseline and uncertainty over a piece of information. And above that threshold, there's certainty.
here I am specific to the baseline.
Yes, which normally is about 50, very low.
So in setting a threshold, any signal below the threshold is treated as background noise.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
You have earlier told us that different labs set different thresholds based on their own validation. Not
Yes.
so?
Yes, that's correct, but they're all
Yes.
generally in the ballpark figure. There's very little difference between them.
You agree that they are set
They are,
by labs?
yes, but they're all very similar.
So they set different thresholds based on their validation.
That's
Their
correct.
own
Yes.
validation. Okay. Are you privy to the minimum criteria set by the Directorate of Forensic Services Lab?
No.
Are you aware that the minimum threshold set by the Directorate of Forensic Services of RFUs was set at 300?
I had heard
Are
that
you
in live.
aware
I
or
am,
not?
but that is
Are you
that is too
aware
high. That is
or
far
not?
too high. That
Whether
is
it is
beyond
high
anything
or
I've
low, it's okay.
experienced.
Whether
Yes.
it is high or low, it's okay, but are you aware of it?
I'm aware of the 300, yes.
All right.
Is management saying the 300 is the baseline? Or I don't know.
That's the only threshold they have.
The minimum threshold set by DFS was 300.
Yes,
So there
my
are two
lord.
thresholds. There's baseline and there's the other one between. So I don't know which one we are on.
But I think minimum is baseline.
As far as I'm aware, that's the only threshold they have. So everything below 300 is ignored.
So 300 means it's a baseline.
Ms. Hingley, technically, a negative control fails if an allele is called above the set threshold. Do you agree?
Yes.
A negative control fails if an allele is called above the set threshold. And she says she
Is
She agrees, right?
Yes, yes.
In all the data you reviewed, did you see any peaks called by the software gene mapper below 300 RFUs?
Nothing had been labelled, but in my opinion, it's clear
Did you see
there is
or you
clear
did not
evidence
see?
of DNA in that sample, and the 300 is far too high.
Miss
My
Hingley,
Lord, we are here, I'm sorry. We all need to understand. If a question is clear, we request she provides an answer. In this particular case, my Lord, the question is clear. Did you see any? This court should be expecting her to say, I saw,
I
did not see. Then we make progress. But she can't,
I am merely putting the evidence into my opinion.
because she has to be of help to this court.
In all the data
you reviewed. The question was, in all the data you reviewed, that is if you reviewed anyway, did you see any peaks called by the software gene mapper below 300 RFUs?
There was nothing labelled on that EPG, no,
That's okay.
but I disagree with the thresholds, so it wouldn't be called.
my Lord,
So I
My
disagree.
Lord, now what
It's
is
not
the
within your
answer
power
here?
to.
I didn't see it.
Agree.
to us, in all the data reviewed, peaks were called by the software.
Gene mapper
What is spelled gene mapper?
is G E capital G E N E, my lord, and mapper.
So none of the peaks called by the software gene mapper were below 300.
Mapper, yes.
Mapper were below 300.
My Lord, I captured what she said, but I disagree with her.
But the disagreement
Is another thing.
My Lord, that's the witness's answer.
But that is the
We-
question you
we
should
cut
be
the
asking.
answer and-
You will ask her that one.
My Lord,
My Lord, I'm
No, Mr. Kabega is being violent. No, my Lord, he can't do that. He can't do that. You know. No. I am protesting your conduct, my Lord. I will not sit. I am protesting what you are trying to do. Yes. No, my Lord, in addition to what Mr. Tumwebas is trying to do. So he should listen, my Lord. Yes, my Lord.
let us hear his opinion.
Okay, my Lord.
your protection, my Lord. Thank you for your protection. And my Lord, thank you for the protection. Now, my Lord, I want us to be, and we need to apply uniform measures here. During our cross-examination, every time a witness, we said stop there, my Lord, you kept guiding us and let the witness complete. So we can't cut the witness's answer because we only like the first part and not the last one. And then we say, no, wait for re-exam. She said, but I disagree. So my Lord, let's capture
I did not ask
Mr.
about
Tumwebas, the witness said, all the data is too high.
that I disagree.
No, my Lord, actually, my...
She's aware that the
Mr. Tumwebas, are you done?
she's aware that the minimum threshold was
Already
set
one for
at
Abidjan, so
300.
you will Abidjan.
She said that the minimum threshold was set at 300, but that is too high. That is all. The agreement is already on record.
My Lord, what I want as a principle is can we record the witness's answers? Even when we don't like
No,
them,
my Lord, that is
somebody-
exactly what I am objecting to.
Can we record the witness's
I-
answers?
I-
Even when we don't
Your
like them?
concern has
I-
already been addressed because the witness already stated that. But the 300 is too high. It is on record.
When we don't like the answers, can we record them? And then disselect them?
Mr. Tumwebas, that part of her disagreement is already on record.
Which one?
Of her disagreeing that agreeing with the 300.
My Lord, if you
Because
can-
she said here that, but that is too high. Is that a disagreement?
When she actually said that that is too high, she added something else which still, my Lord,
And,
They said we don't.
and my lord, that is no.
I'm interchanging. I'm still with you.
No, my lord, that is where I have a problem
Mr. Mwaganya,
with the defense.
Can we finish?
It appears very clearly
Can we finish?
that the defense
Can we go?
has specific things that, with due respect, what the witness has come to say. And they push so much. Please listen to me. Yeah, but I'm objecting to that. I am objecting to that. I am objecting to what he is on now.
It's already on record. It's already on record.
Yeah, we can't stand up.
Yeah, but my lord, if I am objecting to what he is trying to do, he cannot keep standing. So how do I object to you if you insist on standing?
That part of her not agreeing is already on record.
My lord,
So there was no need to.
what I want this court to do.
My lord, does Mr. Tumwebaze know that when I am protesting what he's supposed to do, he should be courteous to sit down?
The answers are being recorded as the witness says them. Where it is there? Because I've already recorded that one. Where she disagreed, it's already on record.
My lord, we are most obliged. Yes.
And my lord, we have a concern. Again, in the words of Mr. Tumwebaze, whether we like it or not, my lord, it is our concern. From where we stand, it appears there are certain things that, with the greatest respect, the witness is meant to say. So much that, my lord, even if the question does not touch that particular subject, the witness has to volunteer answers disconnected with the subject. Even if we ask a specific question, my lord, that requires a clear answer for the guidance of this court, she is not willing to provide a clear, precise answer, but she divulges into information that is not being asked in cross-examination. And I have noted, my lord, I may be wrong, that whenever she does that, the defense is so much interested in a court recording things even when we have not asked them. My lord, may the witness be reminded that we have a role and they have a role. We understand from the evidence given so far that so much came from KAA. So much. But my lord, they will have a chance in re-examination. But a witness cannot be fair to this court when we are dealing with a technical subject for her to continue providing answers to questions that we have not asked. My lord, that is not fair.
Let us proceed, but being a scientific area, there are certain things that may require more than a yes or no.
Which is okay. When
My lord, in this particular, taking this, we are most obliged. But my lord, taking the last question as an example, whether she saw any peaks called below 300. My lord, there is no science in seeing or not seeing. Okay? Okay. Let's take his objection.
I have a very brief objection. My lord, the figure 300 seems to be arising as evidence from the fact.
Sorry. I didn't get what my land colleague.
The figure 300 seems to be arising as evidence from the bar. My lord, the record will reflect that we asked the prosecution for their validation documentation, and it was not supplied to us.
And my lord, that is the exact problem that we have. That is the exact issue that we have. For now, the person understand who is supposed to answer questions is the witness, not KAA, not the lawyers, my lord. So for the lawyer to
Was she aware that it was set at 300?
yes, which she
And
considered.
said that she was aware.
Yes,
So why is she said she was aware?
yes.
I am aware that the minimum threshold was set by EFS at 300.
And how did she become aware if KAA is accusing us of not providing the information? So you can see the unfairness, my lord. So how did your client get? No, we are.
They're trying to reach 5.
So we compensate for the time wasted.
Who has this?
Let us begin, so we can make good.
Miss Hingley, please confirm that there was no peak that was called.
What is the question?
I think clearly your time.
Instead, proceed.
Please confirm to this court that there was no peak from the data you reviewed that was called below 300 RFUs.
Yes.
By that, it means that by the standard of the Directorate of Forensic Services, the negative control passed. Do you agree?
From the standards they've set, yes, but I disagree
Yes.
with them.
From the standards, do you agree
they
that
have
it's
set.
passed?
But I have not been provided how they reached that level. So I cannot confirm if it's right or not.
Please,
It means that by the standard of the DFS there,
the
we make that-
test for the negative control,
From
Passed.
standard,
Correct.
it is set.
yes, set from the standard that was set by the Directorate of Forensic Services, the negative control test passed. I don't know if you have your report
Yes.
on defense. I think I want to refer you to Defense Exhibit 5. Can you project it?
What's FEN? 5?
Defense Exhibit 5.
Confidential counsel level.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Miss Ingrid, what is the significance of the setting of the threshold?
So the setting of the thresholds means that by setting the 300, everything below that is in effect ignored as baseline. Where in actual fact, no laboratory I know has a baseline anything like that high. It's normally around 50. So our negatives will pick up anything from over 50 high. So it affects greatly interpretation of low levels of DNA, which is what you're expecting from your negative. So a 300 means they are missing so much DNA in their samples.
She hasn't answered what the judge was asking. She's the regulator of the whole world. Do you have an interpretation to do? Is it the evidence? receiving.
They said that.
Incorporate what you can.
This one?
As E2, PIC 63. Please go down a bit.
Down.
Yeah. Mhm.
Is it
Yes,
this one after 23?
yes.
Here, yes.
Please go to the section where there is negative control.
I believe it's here.
Yes. Please confirm that there is no data there.
That's correct. There's no data recorded.
Okay.
That's the portion where there is negative control.
Yes.
Page 56 of the electronic document. So 52 of the EPGs. Taking off the 4 for the letter.
Page 6.
So,
Page 56. The pages are
I think page 56 should be the negative at the end.
yeah, but in the section of all the
Is that
negative
right?
controls, NTC. No, I had not. But that is the same rate. So just go up. That page starts with which number? E what? Where there is negative control. E2.
So E2 is the start, that's sample 13,
Okay.
and A4 is NTC, which I assume is the negative control.
And you'll please confirm that there is no DNA or
There-
data that is provided.
There's no
there.
data there, yes.
Now, we have seen that by that data, the negative control passed.
No, that shows that the negative control isn't recording any DNA, but it's not uncommon to obtain profiles from something the system has
But there was
recorded as
no-
0.
And
There was no DNA, but that doesn't mean there's no profile there.
okay.
So this is an indication of the expectation of DNA
Yes.
in the sample. There's nothing recorded at all, and it's only the pictorial representation on the EPG which
Okay.
shows whether there is or not.
All right.
Stopping at a negative quant is wrong.
All right. If I am to understand what you have said, you mean that there was no DNA.
None that was recorded. I don't know the sensitivity
That is
of
it.
the test, so I can't say categorically none was detected.
But from that data, there was no DNA in the negative.
That,
data.
that records no figures, but I don't know the sensitivity of that test to definitively
Miss
say
Ingrid.
nothing.
You see, when you add so many things, you complicate the whole story.
But the fact that there's no data there, if the test isn't sensitive enough, the fact that
I
there's
have
nothing
not
doesn't
gone
mean
to
that it's nothing.
sensitivity, Miss Hingley.
But you're saying
I
that
am
the
asking
absence,
you, by that data, there is no DNA.
there's no
record.
recordable DNA, and it
Exactly.
depends on its sensitivity as to whether there was DNA present or
I
not.
haven't asked you about
So
sensitivity.
what do we record? The fact that there is no information where there is NTC
It means that there is no DNA.
It means that no DNA was detected.
Yes.
Yes, it doesn't mean there was no DNA. No. It all depends on the sensitivity of the test. Yes. A blank is not a given, there was no DNA.
So that would mean that there was no DNA detected.
Yes, no DNA detected.
Is a positive control.
Yes, that's correct.
Please.
53.
If we are to go at position D3, put your cursor there,
Where am
up there.
I? Oh, sorry. Yes. Yes, yes.
Put your cursor on number 15.
Yes.
Number 15 is the allele.
Correct.
The number below it is an RFU.
Correct.
When you look at all the numbers which are on that positive control page, do you see any RFU below the threshold of 300?
No, as expected, it's a well amplified result. Well amplified result.
Below the set threshold of 300. My Lord, relative fluorescent units.
But my Lord, I'm concerned. Mr. Kavega is not writing.
Lord, there's nothing for me to write.
My Lord,
We could begin from
my Lord, I am requesting to end here. We had a Thursday, such that I can start from here on Thursday. Much obliged.